Coming up on this episode of Free Lunch.
See, the moment you sell your soul and the moment you sell your creativity, you're putting yourself at the behest of other people controlling your destiny. I like to see my family winning. Like, I like you doing this. I like you. And I try to tell people all the time. I'm like, yo, my cousin got me in his Grammy speech. I tell him that all the time.
Yo, I said, folded up paper, still in my safe. Originality is what's rewarded.
Some family members believed in your vision even when you didn't believe in yourself. You know, God has put a lot of tests in front of me, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm a human being. I'm a man. I've failed at some of those tests. I have so many freestyles that I've done. That'll
be a crazy challenge. 48 freestyles in 48 hours.
I could do that. You challenging me?
Wow, that's a bar. You gotta run that back. Don't even try to skate over that and move. Hold on, say that again.
If I'm always ready, I wouldn't have to get ready.
It's Free Lunch Season 3 with a special thanks to our sponsors, Bullseye-LLC.com, Ready, Aim, Bullseye, where safety is our ammo, Gen1LLC.info, Generation 1 Logistics, taking pride in putting our carriers first and helping owner-operators get premium loads, stay organized, and increase profit, and ScarletOakCandleCo.com, the self-care experts. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Freestyle Gospel, a.k.a. The Real Free, with another episode of Free Lunch. And I have my absolute super special guest here today in the building, all the way from Georgia.
ATL, shout it.
ATL, Raymond Barnes, y'all. Give it up.
What's up? What's going on?
Give it up.
How we living? How we doing? Sounds real good out there.
Yo, it's a robust crowd there, man.
Clearly.
Yeah. Yo, thank you so much for taking time out of your trip, your sojourn, to come and swing by the studio, man.
Appreciate it, man. I was gonna come. You knew I was gonna come.
Hey, I knew I had to get you. The next time you come in and come through Connecticut, I was like, yo, I gotta get you by the studio. You now doing big things down in the ATL, so you know it's not often I get to snag you or find out you in CT. You know what I mean? Usually when I find out, it's already out the fact. Yeah, I'm on the way back home, man. I was just there for 2 days.
Look, I be out. Like, I have to be, because it's crazy, man. You know, the company is just doing a whole bunch of crazy things.
They can't do without you in the ATL for too long, man. You got to hurry up and get back there.
Yeah, like I mean,
that's why you gotta have employees.
Look, I'm already missed already. I got my phone over here because I have to turn it down this way because people keep binging me.
Right. Look, I only have to keep my phone in the studio when I make sure my wife is messaging me, because you know we got the new baby now.
Oh yeah, congrats.
You know, so
little goddess.
I definitely gotta make sure I have the phone is visible at least.
Yes, true.
But nobody's blowing me up yet. But yeah, man. So how long is it that you actually been in ATL now?
Oh man, it's been 6 years now.
Yes. Listen, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because obviously I know you already. This, you know what I mean? This is the big cuz right here.
Yeah. Big little cuz.
But introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are, what it is that you specialize in, what do you do, and then we could, you know, after we get all the formalities out the way, we could, you know, jump right in. I could get back to catching up with my man's Ray.
All right. You know, basically born and raised in New Haven. Got the own company of multimedia, RJB Multimedia Company out. I do a lot of AV work. I do a lot of production work, songwriting. I do a lot of training, artist development, branding. Basically just being every piece that I need to be in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a one-stop shop. I felt that a lot of people that I've ran into through my career were either lacking in knowledge, lacking in team, like they were missing something from their team that they couldn't really figure out what it was, or they just were a blank canvas. They didn't even know how to start.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it upon myself. You know, I went to school in Atlanta. That's why I'm living in Atlanta now. Went to SAE. Valedictorian, you know, had to be top of the class always, you know. So, yeah, I just basically decided that I wanted to just do something different with independent artists and independent people who want to be in this industry. A lot of people want to go into mainstream, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's more of ownership at this point. The paradigm has definitely shifted from the mainstreams basically owning a whole bunch of the things that people are just like wanting to give to them and not really understand how to market their own stuff and make a profit off of it and be able to say, you know what, I own that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't own me. They don't own this. But like I said, it's nothing against the mainstream. Some people like.
So just being, my first introduction into you past just, family was you as the producer, but just stopping there wasn't enough for you.
No, it wasn't. I was producing. I mean, I was in beat battles from Philadelphia to Atlanta to Boston to New York to Connecticut. I was doing so many beat battles, and
because I know a lot of producers, you can take just producing really far, and build a really large thing. But
you can, but it's more of you have to stay true to yourself. You can't really feel like I need to be like that. Mm-hmm. Since that is out, this is what I need to be. That is where a lot of producers they're finicky because they don't know who they are as far as their sound. So they just decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to put in the work to find that. I'm just going to do this because this is what's going to get me further down the line. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. However, it gives you a limited box that you're going to be surrounded in, because now if that phase goes or somebody comes in that's better than you and doing what you're doing, then where you at? Like, where does that put you? That put you at the bottom of the barrel. Now you got to sit here and you got to start bagging groceries and doing some other stuff because you have to focus on, okay, well, I can't do the thing that I used to do because I copied off of somebody else, because now somebody has copied off of me.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, copycats can only go but so far, and you can take much credit as you want, but as eventually you're going to come at a point where it's like, okay, well, show me what you got. And if your catalog is looking like this man's catalog and he already was here and you weren't, then how are you supposed to get into the door?
So what was there a catalyst somewhere in your journey as a producer where you suddenly got a new epiphany or idea to say, hey, I want to build myself or position myself as a brand to be more than just producing? Or was it a thing that even at the begining of you even being a producer, this was always the plan? Is to go way past just produce. That was always the plan.
It was always the plan. My own thing was, I have the skill set, I have the talent, I have the knowledge, I have the education. What facet will I do to get me everything that I need? So, and I'm looking at it from a perspective of personal and professional. What's going to make me happy, right? Everybody feels like they need to have some type of happiness. What's going to make you happy? The people that you hold around you can make you happy. The environments that you expose yourself to can make you happy. What personal thing can you have within you to where if you lose everybody today, God forbid, you lose the money to go into the environments that made you happy, how can you sit with yourself and understand that God is giving you a blessing of breath? Are you going to waste it, or are you going to capitalize on it and say, you know what, God gave me this talent, I'm just going to go to what I know, I'm going to do this way, and I'm going to go and I'm going to run with it? So the production part, the musical side of everything that I did, was the only thing to get me noticed, but I never really took it as this is what's going to be Raymond Barnes forever. It was always going to be, this is my stepping stone. What am I going to do next? And on my journey to doing the production, I've met a lot of artists who were spoken word artists, such as yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I was probably the first one to give you a beat to make sure that you can kind of catch yourself from being a spoken artist to an actual rapper, to a lyricist. Mm-hmm. And it was more of, it made me feel better because I contributed to something, to getting people to see that they can be whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you may think at that moment. I believe in you enough that you can take what you have, a God-given talent, and you can take it and you can go do something else with it.
Yeah. I think that's the case for, really anything that has a label on it or title. Yeah. Is that it could be so much more, which is why I think, like, for me personally, I think this is why when, I sign up for a new social media site, let's say, or I have to, I get somewhere online or on whether it's a form and I have to submit what's my title. And I've always struggled with like, what do I call myself? Like struggle with like, what's going to be the label that I want everyone else to know me by? Because I know even if I have an understanding that I exist out of labels, like, and I'm not boxing, I understand that for a large part of the world, that's what makes me digestible for them. So let me do my best to try to, as best I can, do you a favor and give you a title, give you a label. And so I come up with, you know, things like serial creative. You know, it's because at the heart, I'm a creative, and I'm a creative in so many spaces. So then, hey, I'll be a serial creative if you need to call me something.
But I feel like, not to interrupt, but I feel like just being a creative alone.
Yeah.
You don't even need to add nothing to that.
No, facts. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's just be honest. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like creativity it's a broad statement already, right?
Right?
It's already a broad statement. So it doesn't matter like when people say to me, well, Ray, what do you do this, you do that. Well, what do you put, like, how do you describe yourself on like forms or taxes or contracts or stuff? I say I'm a multimedia company.
But does that, like, okay, before you had that answer ready, right?
Yes.
Because, I mean, if we're honest, at some point in our past, we didn't have that answer.
No, we did not.
All right. But so before you had that answer, multimedia company, was it hard for you to find something to articulate to give people when you know in yourself,
no,
I don't exist in a box?
No. Here's why, because I never felt boxed in.
No, not yourself. I'm saying when someone like, asks you the question of like, give me a label though, give me a title, and you know for yourself, otherwise you don't put a title on yourself. Well, when someone is asking you to give them,
but it's based off of the situation. So let's say I'm in the studio, like a recording studio. I could be an engineer, I could be a music producer, I could be a songwriter. Like I can be that guy that's just in there, not only holding down the board, but I'm also vocal coaching you. I'm also writing these lyrics down. I'm also making the beat while you're asking me to chop this down.
Hold on, not to cut you off. Not to derail your thought. The vocal coach.
Yes.
Do you remember what instantly jumped in my head? When we were trying to record at your house, way before you had the nice fancy studio you got now, it was just the living room studio, and I'm trying to record that 100-bar piece straight, right?
Yep, machine gun sound.
And saliva kept coming out, and you had me stick the tissue inside of my cheek to catch the spit.
And it worked, didn't it?
That was so crazy to me. That was like the craziest thing.
It was ever. Because I'm like, I've been in countless studio sessions, right? So by the time you came, and this is the beginning, so this is kind of like unprecedented from you, like doing 100 bars. Like you've done bars, you've done 16s, you've done 8s,
straight
done
without
features,
any break,
but with no hook, no break, no nothing. You barely breathing.
Yeah.
I said, look, man, I'm catching the spittle.
And the thing I remember being, I've always been against punch-ins.
Yes.
And so that's really what made it hard for me. I could have made it easier and just be like, you know what, just stop right here and punch in.
Yeah, but you didn't.
I wanted to be hard-headed. I wanted to do it but it's because I feel like when you do punch-ins, and for any of the other artists listening out there or producers, maybe if you're a really great, mixer and producer or engineer or whatever, you feel like maybe you can really make punch-ins sound seamless, which I'm sure, you feel confident into.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can't argue on a cellular organic level if you can get the artist to do it straight throw. Yeah. If they could pull it off, it sounds better.
It does. Because what happens is, now this is my engineer hat coming on. When you have a person who raps, right? Let's say rap. We're not gonna go to singing. Singing is a whole nother complex. Yeah. If they rapping, right? They have 16 bars to work with. You have to give me the same energy that first punch in.
Exactly.
And the crazy thing about it is it messes with your creativity, because what if you wanted to change your cadence? What if you wanted to change your inflection in what word you wanted to do?
Yeah.
And you wanted me to punch you in? Okay, great. I don't know what's in your mind.
Yeah.
I only know what you're giving me from your voice. So if you're saying to me, da 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 da, and then you say, all right, I forgot, and then you punch in, and then you're like, da 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 da. It's not, the energy is not matching. I'm like, dude, like,
exactly.
I was like, and then that's why, and then like a trick that I've learned, I say the best thing to do is play back at least 4 bars, at least, so that I can get you in the momentum. And what I do is I have them repeat it. So I play the 4 bars for them. I say, look, I need your energy to match this exact energy. So we're going to listen to these 4 bars 3 times, 3 times. Don't say nothing. Just get into the energy of what you're saying. Get into the energy of how you're doing it. I play it 4 bars and I loop it. So I'm looping it. As I'm looping it, I'm looping recording too. So I'm looping and recording at the same time. So the moment where you feel that moment where you're ready to continue that energy.
The moment you feel like the little engine that could again.
Exactly. So I catch them, right? And then they say, oh man, that take was dope, man. Dang, man, I wish I had. Did you get that? Yeah. I've been got it.
I'm getting everything.
I'm playlisting everything. So when I go back to post, this is the energy that you was giving me. This is the energy that it was. This is what it sounded like when I did the technique that I showed you, and this is what it sounded like when you wanted me to just punch you in.
Yeah.
And then every time I'm gonna learn how to do that. That's what I want to do anytime I go to a studio. So now I get artists like anybody.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a great way, like technique that a lot of engineers don't do that. A lot of engineers just let you just kind of figure it out yourself. But I don't. I'm a real creative.
Yeah.
Like detailed. Like
and it's like, always a good thing when, because when you're acting as the studio producer for someone else, you're acting in a service capacity. Yeah. Like you're at their service. You're offering the service of producing, right?
Yeah, I work for them.
I always feel like the service is carried out 10 times better when you, as the servicer, also create in the space that the client is in.
Yeah.
Right?
So
when the rapper comes to you or the singer comes to you for your producer service, you actually have experience being a rapper and singer yourself.
Yeah.
So you're able to carry out the services to a better, more efficient degree because you have insight into their side.
Yeah.
You're not just on this side of the table.
Yes. So being an artist myself, it's like I understand, like new artists, I understand you're nervous. You've never heard yourself on a microphone. You've never heard yourself.
Exactly.
So when you hear yourself, you're like, oh my God, I sound trash. You're like, like the first thing everybody has, I swear, I get a first.
Give me auto-tune. Change my voice.
That's the first thing they say. Give me auto-tune. Give me this. I say, okay. But I try to make it fun for them. So if they even say, hey, let me get auto-tune, I give them auto-tune. Yeah. Why not? Because it gives you that energy to where you're not being judged because you sound a certain way, because you're feeling like you sound a certain way. But I hear the potential. I hear, oh yeah, you're just holding back because you're nervous. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these nerves out of you. Yeah, we're gonna have fun. Yeah, we're gonna sit here. You know what I'm gonna do? What's your favorite song? Oh, this, that, and the third by Sierra or something, or Beyonce. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put that instrumental on. Let me hear you sing the way that you would sing their song. Yeah. They're like, oh, okay. So I don't feel like if you book me for a 5-hour session that we're just gonna be like, look, this is it. I'm not a drill sergeant. Mm-hmm. I feel like once somebody tries to be militant on creativity, it puts the turtle back into the shell. Mm-hmm. You don't want that. You want the turtle to expose themselves out to the world. You want them to see that at the end of the day, there is so much going on out in the world that you can contribute to outside of your shell.
What's one of the, like, would you say, because a lot of the, the overarching approach to the podcast of Free Lunch really is so that people are able to really get a glimpse of the very much so human part of us behind all of these labels that we have. So I've had like so many different labels of, or, you know, category of people, professionals, creators on the show. But, you know, we all cross paths on some shared plane, myself and the guests that come on. And so, you know, whether I have the painter, the singer, the author, the educator, I really like to, on the show, you know, delve into some of the gears that are happening behind the scene, beneath their surface. So when you are creating, like yourself, let's say, as a producer, what's one of the, carrying that label around, carrying around the label of your company now, you know, multimedia, what would you say are some of the misconceptions that people have when they hear some of those titles or those things come ahead of you in advance? So before they actually got the chance to see you in person, you know, face to face, your title or maybe what your business company does has preceded you, came first. Yeah. When you now arrive at some of those boardrooms, some of those big meetings with those companies, those executives that you're working with, what are some of the misconceptions that you run into that they have of what you actually do?
Well, the first one always is they believe that I am a trap producer. Yeah.
Really?
Because the thing about it is when so
is that because like the geographically, like you think where you are?
Yeah.
In
so
ATL?
when I go into, I'm a music producer that resides in Atlanta, because I'm not from Atlanta. I'm from New Haven, born and raised, right?
Yeah.
But I also make sure I rep my town. Like New Haven is in my blood. So I say, you know, I send them a portfolio package, EPK, which is electronic press kit. You know how it goes. So I send them something, and the first thing they see is Raymond Barnes, RJB Multimedia, music producer, audio engineer, Atlanta, Georgia. So off rip, the first thing that you see is Atlanta, Georgia is what? Trap music.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? Now, I did this one time. This is the reason why I had to change my resume. So I put my picture on my resume at one time. I had a person a professional person say, hey, to get yourself in this industry, let's put your photo on the resume so that you can, when you send it out, they can see who they're kind of like casting for whatever they needed.
Okay.
I said, okay, cool. So I took a picture, had a great shot, you know, fresh shot, you know. So had a suit on or whatever. And the first person that gave me an opportunity was like, oh, wow. Like, I like the fact that you stuck out from everybody else's resume because you had your picture on it. So I said, okay, cool, right? I get there, I'm doing the session. It's just like, it's good. I'm feeling good. We get the session done. Boom. Record goes out. I get my royalties, this, that, and the third. I get another placement. Same resume, but this time it's for kind of like pop. It's like a pop record. First thing they said was, we think you have what it takes, but we don't know if you have what it takes. So I said, well,
goodbye.
I understand.
Bye is what I said.
I said, I understand. I get it. I said, you know what? I said, I will have to graciously decline, because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to be what you want me to be for you if you can't accept me for who I am for me.
Wow. Well, are moments like that hard for you?
No.
To say that?
No.
Has it ever been?
No.
Never.
I've turned down Sony.
You've never second guessed yourself?
I've turned down Def Jam. Nope. I've never second guessed myself, because if you second guess yourself in this business and you sit here and you go in at what they want you to be, you will go down in history as that person to everybody, and they'll believe that. And then when you want to speak your mind, or if you have a little bit of interest in something different, or you want to implement something else because you see it differently, they're going to shut you down.
How do you know that that's true if you've never ever second guessed yourself?
Because
just from
I've been in situations, like I said, I had a situation with a music company, major, and their A&R came across my stuff. I was doing a session. I was in a session in 11th Street Studios in Atlanta, and person came across my work, and he wanted me to meet up with this manager. He thought this manager can just take me great places.
Yep.
And I have respect for the guy because the guy was a SAE alum. So he kind of was there before I was. So he was basically giving me, you know, the roads and, you know, giving me some leadway. So had respect for the guy. I go meet the guy. I go meet him. It's him, the manager, and then the manager's like artist, like he's his A&R. So they say, okay, well, let me hear some of your music. Okay, I play some of my music. So I played him 5 records. Out of the 5 records, they only liked 3. The only 3 that they liked were trap records. They couldn't listen the pop record. They didn't like the pop record. They liked it, but they weren't looking for that. It wasn't the audience for it, what they wanted. Mm-hmm. So the guy says to me, he says, I like what you're doing, and I think I can take you places and put you further in. Like, this is the only, I'm gonna tell you this right now because this is the only meeting that I've ever had with a management company at all. He says to me, but instead of me signing you, I want to put you in a producer camp so that you can learn the top 40.
Learn? What do you mean by that?
So basically learn the formula of making top 40 records the way that the top 40 records are of that time.
Oh, okay.
So
basically you can learn how to do what the top 40 people are doing right now.
What the top
and
40,
copy them.
Exactly. So the top 40 producers at that time was Drake's producer, you know, Young Money and them. You had coming out of New York, you had little bit of, you know, Premier, a little bit of Havoc. They wanted Timbaland because Timbaland was kind of catering to it. Mm-hmm. Pharrell was catering to it, but Pharrell still had his own little thing he was doing too. So a lot of the producers that they were talking about, like Hit Boy and Hitmaker and all of them, they wanted me to be them. Mm-hmm. You know, Bangladesh and all of them. So they wanted me to be that. And I said, I can't do that. There's no way I can do that. Why? Because I can do it, but why would I want to? Why would I want to be somebody else?
To get rich, make money, right?
No, I can get rich. I can make $1 million in a million ways rather than making $1 million in that one way by selling my soul. See, the moment you sell your soul and the moment you sell your creativity, you're putting yourself at the behest of other people, controlling your destiny, controlling your fate, controlling what you would like and what you wouldn't like. And that's not for me. I feel like I do take these opportunities as lessons. I never take them as losses. I take them as lessons. And when I take them as lessons, I take them as, this is something that they see that I have it, but they want me to work on it in their way. But I'll take this constructive criticism and I'll make a folder of top 40 records for you. Mm-hmm. So moving forward, and mind you, I had to pay to get that meeting. Let's just put that out there.
Hate those.
Yeah, I had to pay the manager just for him to sit back and listen to me for an hour.
And then tell me he want to send me to boot camp.
And not to mention that I waited.
Camp.
And not to mention that I waited 45 minutes for him to even see me. So I paid to be waited on.
Like I ain't already been making beats. You're gonna send me to beat camp.
Exactly. Right. So it's crazy because it's like, and you know, no disrespect to the manager because he does his thing and he's definitely a reputable manager. But I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah. And I think that's the takeaway too for, you know, anyone listening as well, is it's not to say that, you know, going a path that, you know, many people are already in that space, or if you were to, you know, if it was to be a producer that says, you know what, okay, sure, I'll go to the camp, you know, and I want to learn, you know, the top 40. It's not to say that something is wrong with that.
No.
It's to say, though, if I feel destined for something greater or something else that's uniquely me, it's having inner resolve to be committed to that.
Exactly.
And not tempted and lured out of what's in me, what's uniquely me, for the sake of $1, for the sake of notoriety. I And I always think, we see it in social media if we're paying attention, if we got our eyes open on social media, through all the white noise and other distractions up there, you actually see social media confirms the things that you and I are saying. Like social media constantly shows you that originality is what's rewarded.
Yes.
Now, the tricky part is the copycat does walk away with the little remnants of the overflow,
the perception,
right? Like there's something small. There's like a remnant that like lingers behind the originator and then all the copycats. So you could a little bit can be garnered from that. A little bit of a notoriety, and maybe you're seen for a little bit. You get your 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But then that's it. It's not sustainable. It's just temporary. But for the originators, the people who are daring to jump out on a limb, those are really the people on social media, the ones that, are really, really, praised and like put up on these pedestals. They're people that in their beginning, they dared to do something different that no one else was doing. And now that's what they're known by.
Exactly.
That's what they're known for. And there's like, and then now they become this cult following. But when they first started that thing, people were looking at them like they're crazy. Case in point, we mentioned I think we were off air. We didn't get on air yet, but we have our gratitude rock here.
Yeah.
And I said it reminds me of the stump at the Apollo, where you rub the stump, you're about to perform. But thinking of the Apollo, I remember every time I went there to perform, the director, Kathy Jordan Sharpton, shout out to Kathy.
Shout out.
I don't know if she's still there, but
she was there when you were there. So
she always gives the speech about how James Brown, in the beginning, in his first like performances there, he was always booed.
Yeah.
Like repeatedly, show it night after night.
And still be booed.
Was booed because he had this weird thing he would do with his feet and shouting, and it was so unlike anything other artists were doing, and it was like, the crowd, people weren't used to it.
No.
But he did not change
his
being him.
No.
And now he's praised as like one of the greatest to ever do it.
Because he is.
Because he dared to be different and stick with it.
Yeah. It's all about, and that's the thing, like a lot of people don't think that consistency doesn't pay off. It does.
Oh yeah, man.
It does.
Yeah, you gotta let that sink in.
Oh my God, man. That it like like you've seen me in production. You've seen me making music and all of that. I also do innovative things to keep myself consistent. I feel like if I am always ready, I never have to get ready.
Wow, that's a bar. You gotta run that back. Don't even try to skate over that and move. Hold on, say that again.
If I'm always ready, I wouldn't have to get ready.
Yo, if I'm always ready, I never have to get ready.
Nope. Yeah, because
that's a whole. Y'all better chew on that nugget for a second, right there.
Because it's really because I
that's
always
crazy.
I always go in like I go into these like workshops with kids that like in high schools and middle schools that want to learn how to do this, and they say, yeah, we're in the band, and yeah, we're playing the keys, and yeah, we're doing the drums, and yeah, we're doing this. I say, okay, great. I said, now, mind you, when I was in high school, I couldn't even use the talent that I had as an actual core for my band class.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah.
Remember that back in the day, right?
Heck no.
So I had to learn how to play the clarinet.
Yes.
Right? That was my core. So I had to learn how to play that. But my real dream prodigy passion was the drums, percussionist. So I said, well, what are you learning else? Like, what else are you learning? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? The music just don't stop with just one instrument. It's like 4 or 5. You can learn all of them. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have the tolerance to, master this one. Master the 3. I always say master the 3. Now, this is a gem. Master the 3. If you can master the guitar, if you can master the keys, and if you can master the drums, you can be in any worldwide studio and be able to do whatever you want to do. Master the 3. If you master the 3, everything else comes into play. Doesn't even matter. If you're a person that can want to learn how to do something, learn the 3. And even if you're doing it electronically, you still have to learn the theory about putting chords and triads and all of these things, scales together. Learn your scales, learn this, learn that, learn how to play it on the guitar. A high E on the guitar is similar to a high E on the keys, but the only difference is it's 2 different instruments. Sharps and flats. Learn the music theory.
Yeah.
If you learn the music theory, you never have to worry about anything else. That's why I said, if I'm always ready, I never have to get ready. Music it's universal language. You never have to change it. It's never going to change. You can enhance it, but it's still going to have its core.
Yeah.
So when I say to them, I say, okay, well, how many hours do you put in? Like, I don't know. I want to know how much you do. They say, well, I do 2 hours after school. And then they say I do like, my 30-minute class. And then I probably do maybe 30 minutes if I'm just bored or something. I said, okay. I said, it's 24 hours in a day. Let's take 8 of those out because you got to sleep. Let's take another 8 out of those because you have to actually go to school, around 7-8 hours, right? That's 16 hours that you're either sleeping or you're doing something that is a necessity. What are you doing with the other 8 hours? If you're passionate about doing this, what are you doing with the other 8 hours of passion? Oh, well, I didn't never see it like that. I said, you just told me you only did 30 minutes here, 30 minutes here, and then 2 hours here. That's only 4 hours. So what are you doing with the other 4 hours?
PlayStation.
Exactly. You're watching TV, you're watching PlayStation. Now, here's the thing. When I was a kid, if I wasn't playing an instrument, I was working on my writing. If I wasn't working on my writing, I was playing an instrument. Mm-hmm. I did it every day. Every day. I mean, every day, Sunday to Sunday.
Well, back then we didn't have Xbox either.
No, but we had Super Nintendo.
Yeah, we did have
Super Nintendo. We had Sega Genesis. We had these distractions that were there, but the distractions also became a help because now I understand the dynamics of gaming and game design and game and sound for game. Like now I've made sounds for games. Mm-hmm. So I understand the complexity of a game because I used to be a gamer. Mm-hmm. But I want to do more than just play the game. I want to be the one that invents the game. I want to be the one to contribute to the game that's being played out here by millions and billions of people. So I have to put the time in. I have to learn how to do this. And then when I learn how to do this, it's not about what you learn in the classroom. It's about the hours you put in outside of the classroom. If I'm putting in 8 hours in the classroom and I'm doing 7 subjects, I need to be doing 7 different things or 5 different things, the minimum, in those 8 hours that I'm actually just downtime. It's just downtime. So what are you doing in those 8 hours? So if I come to you and I say, hey, you need 10,000 hours to become a master at something, and then you say to me you only work 2 hours or 3 hours
I've heard
a day.
that before. Where does that come from?
Well,
is that originated by a author or a book?
It comes from the book The Art of War. The Art of War.
Really?
Yeah, it's in The Art of War.
Well, because I actually have that book.
Reread it. I forgot what chapter it is. I forgot what law it is. But
I have to actually
it tells you, put in 10,000 hours will make you a master at everything you can do. And 10,000 hours, if you balance the sheet out to about.
Let me see if that comes down to. If we could put that in days or
if we put that
years.
If we put that into, well, I can break it down for you. If we put it in,
10,000,
if we put it in,
divided by 24 hours in a day
equals,
that's a little over 416 days.
416
days.
So
a year and some change.
Year and some change. If you did it every day,
which is not bad.
Which you did if you did it every day. Now take the ratio of that, right? Divide that down. How many hours do you think that will take for you to do it in a year?
Nobody got time for that, man.
Exactly.
I'm trying to get on it. I'm trying to get to this mastery.
Exactly. So if you want to get to the mastery,
can't wait for no 7 years.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to get to the mastery,
you got to turn it up a notch.
Comes to sacrifice.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I might have to put the PlayStation down.
Yeah, it comes with sacrifice.
Yeah.
It does. Now, be honest. I'm not saying that I don't have fun, but
facts.
When I'm having fun, I'm still creating.
But interesting enough, right? Because you said, hey, you only have 8 hours, and that's because you obviously using estimates.
Yes.
You took 8 hours out for sleep.
Yep.
8 hours out for,
work,
roughly whether it's, whether you're a student
necessity
or whether you're adult with a job, Either way. But I think what we end up doing, like those of us like me and yourself, when you're really hungry to like quickly get something and you have time is of the essence, you don't have 7 years. In fact, you don't have the little over a year. You're not willing to wait.
No.
You find a way to like zero in on those 10,000 hours by sometimes cutting into that 8 hours that you had separated for sleep.
Exactly.
Because no, I need those 8 free hours and I need some of those 8 for sleep. So, I'm gonna steal some from over there.
So let me ask you
it's
this.
like I'm robbing Peter to
pay Paul. Exactly.
Exactly.
So me personally, my body is trained. My body is trained to where I only can do 5 hours of sleep. Right. Whichever way I take it, I'll take it. So if I take 2 hours here, 2 hours here, and then an hour and a half here, or whatever the case may be, I only can sleep 5 hours because I've conditioned my body since a kid. Because I'm a night owl. I stay up all night. So if I'm up all night, I need to be doing something, right? I had a friend in school that says, I want you to challenge yourself to make 48 beats in 48 hours.
This was back at SAE?
This was at my school, right? So I said I could do that. No problem. He said, you can sleep, but I need 48 beats. But I need to see that you've done that. I said, okay. I'll keep a track log, everything, right?
Yeah.
We go to school Friday. I told the wife, I said, look, I got to do this because I got somebody challenging me.
I have somebody triple dog dare me.
Yeah.
You know I can't turn down a triple dog dare.
I cannot turn down a triple dog dare.
He's
right?
getting paid no money for this.
Nothing.
It's pure ego at work.
Egotistical. I am that guy. I want to prove you wrong. Right? So he says, okay. I said, well, how long does the beats have to be? He says they have to be 16 bars, hook, breakdown.
Okay.
So about 2 minutes.
All right. Not too horrible.
Not too horrible,
Not
right?
looking for 5 minutes.
Not looking for a 5 minute.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I can give you 2 minute songs. I made a sample. I took the sample from a song that I normally had originally was going to put out of my own because I don't like really sampling a lot of other people's stuff because it comes with legalities and everything, right? So I said, I'm going to take this sample. I chopped that sample up in 17 different samples. 17 different ways.
Okay.
Right? So I chopped it up in 17 different ways.
Do you remember what the sample was by any chance?
The sample, what actually, the funny thing about it is...
Or the song, I mean.
The sample that I had was called Me. It was a song that I did. I let you hear it. It was a song when I was like starting to do the album that I'm doing now, but I did it like years ago.
Okay.
So it was actually before you did Machine Gun Sermon.
Okay.
It was like, and then it was the next beat that I did when I gave you No Sleep.
Okay.
The No Sleep beat.
Yeah.
So the beat that I did before the No Sleep beat was that song. I still have that song too. It's like one of my greatest. So I took that and chopped it up in 17 different pieces. I took the keys, I took the synths, I took the horns, I took all of that, chopped them all up. So I got like 5 piano sets, got like about 2 or 3 maybe samples of the horns, like maybe like 2 or 3, maybe 6, 7 samples of the synths. I literally took each one of those samples and made 2 records on each sample. So now I got 34.
Wow.
Right? So, and I did that from Friday night. My wife can attest to this. I did that from Friday night at 5 o'clock at night. I literally did not go to sleep until 5 o'clock Sunday morning. And I did 34 beats.
From Friday night?
From Friday night.
To Sunday morning?
To Sunday morning. So now that's
insanity.
I did 24 hours and some change.
This is insanity, people.
Right? So now I literally did an hour of sleep. And then I made the rest of those beats before 5 o'clock on Sunday night. I gave it to him.
That's crazy.
I gave it to him. I Dropboxed him the whole folder. I even have the folder. I swear to God, I have the folder in my phone. I'm going to let you see it. I have the folder. I literally dropped that folder on him at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
He could not believe it. He couldn't believe it. I swear to God. It was
That's
crazy.
Hilarious.
It was crazy. That's dedication.
What's really insane is that it's creatives like this that are driven to such ends, and it's for no other gain other than just to be able to say, I met the challenge. Look at this. This dude actually literally is showing me a folder that says 48 and 48. This dude has 48 different tracks inside this folder.
And 48 minutes and 48 hours. Oh
my Lord. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now
48 and 48, y'all. I definitely did it. It's attested.
Yo,
it's stamped approved by Freestyle Gospel.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 48 and 48. I did 48 and 48, right? So now it's a part of my building.
But when you set out for that, like when, the challenge was presented to you, did you feel like super confident? Like that's easy. I know I'll be able to do that.
Yeah. I really did.
So it really wasn't even like a challenge though to you.
No.
Has there been a thing that you've stepped into that actually was a challenge for you? That like going into it, you were like, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try anything. I ain't sure how this is gonna work out.
Another thing that people do for me, right? You've been one of these people that done it. People will send me a song and say, Ray, I need you to sample this for me.
Okay.
I need you to make this song something totally different.
Yeah.
Right. That in itself is a challenge because it's a song that I love. Yeah. So let's say, okay, I have somebody.
I would think that would be like the easiest thing.
Oh, no. I have somebody sent me Cry For You, Jodeci.
Okay.
Jodeci is like one of my favorite groups. So how am I supposed to learn how to do something new with something that I am still a fan of?
Oh yeah, that's been so ingrained in you.
So I'm like,
the way it is.
I'm listening. So I'm listening to this record.
You're jamming like,
I'm listening to it.
Hold on, let me stop myself. I'm supposed to be doing something else.
So I have to take myself out of the fandom.
Yeah.
And put myself as the producer.
I can see that.
So now I'm like, man, I don't like this. But it made me feel like I need to do this because if any artist comes to me and says, I like this song, I want you to make it for me.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I got. This is what I came up with. And every time when somebody sends me a sample, no lie, the first thing they say to me is, Ray, I have to stop the sample at a minute and rewind it because I did not expect the sample to sound the way that you made it. I did not expect this song to be the way that it was. See, people expect the song to be the way that they wanted it to be, and I overshoot and I succeed over that because of the time that I put in. Because I want to make sure that you understand. I'm not gonna just copy and paste this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my all into this. I'm put my all effort into this.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate the fact that you're challenging me. I appreciate that you're on this journey with me so that I can learn how to do other things and I can learn how to challenge myself and see my creative distance, see how far I can go with it.
I like that. Well, it's because the challenge is obviously for in any space, any industry. I don't care if you're a construction worker, you know, compared to the producer. The challenge is what presents the opportunities for growth. I think that's widely known. I think everybody understands that. Whether people like that, whether people embrace that is a different thing. But they get it. They know that, hey, in order for me to grow and expand, it's going to take some discomfort there, and I can appreciate that. As we zero in on the last 10 minutes of the show, I like to have all the guests. I begin to, as we gotten near, well, probably almost at the halfway point of season 3, I found a way to kind of narrow down the part in the discussion that I want to be able to, bring more to light and speak directly to for every episode going forward is, getting the different individual guests here on the show, their take in what they're learning in their own present journey, where they are in life as a creator, in their personal life, whatever it is. Get their input on what they're learning across these 3 spaces that I come to call the 3 Fs.
Okay.
Faith, family, and finance. And so I want to, like I said, as we get geared towards the end of the show, I want us to end at what I believe personally is the greatest, faith. So faith, family, and finance, if we can go over those in reverse order, though. So, what are the things you're learning in this season presently in your life as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, as RJB Multimedia in the area of finance? Shoot.
I am learning that I didn't expect that I had to take care of certain things financially outside of me, which is a segue to family. I didn't realize that I never really thought that my finances would definitely have to be allocated to taking care of the elderly or, my mom, my dad, or whatever the case may be. So I had to learn how to carve out time to say, okay, I have to allocate some of my finances over here. Because I come from the bottom of the bottom. I come from West Hills, right up the street, right around the corner, Blake Street, 246 Valley Street. I come from that. That's my area. That's my hood. That's my town. That's my place. So, living in those projects and being raised in those projects and understanding that my mom had to work constantly to get to a point where she can just be comfortable with the situations of our living arrangements, or not trying to be homeless again, or stuff like that. I always don't want to take my dollars for granted. I don't never want to take them for granted because I know what it's like to not have it. So I need to be responsible enough to keep it, but I also need to be gracious enough to give it to the people that need it.
So you said it segues to family. What's the greatest thing you're learning in the area of family this season?
I'm learning that some family members believed in your vision even when you didn't believe in yourself. I'm learning that
facts.
My grandmother, may she rest in peace, she was the actual, it's crazy because I tell everybody this story. She was the only one in my family that knew I was going to be here.
Wow.
And she contributed to it by...
And when did she pass away?
She just passed away last year, March 28th.
Wow.
She was 99. So she lived a full life.
Yeah.
And she always used to challenge me to do something different from drums. You're always banging on the pots and pans. You're always banging on those drums. Here, she gave me a Casio keyboard for my Christmas. It was I was 6 years old, 6 years old. Because I was a prodigy, so I was playing drums when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like 5 years old. So she said, I'm sick of you banging on my... She said, my mother said the same thing. She was like, Ma, I don't know what to do with this boy. He keep banging on my pots. He messing up my pots. My grandmother said, well, get him something else to play with.
Give him some keys to press.
Get him something, right? So then my grandmother gave me a Casio, right? So every time when I had to play for her. I had to play. She would tell me, if you come to my house, I need you to play me something every time you come to my house.
Wow.
I said, okay. I used to play with Three Blind Mice, Lean on Me. I actually, it's the crazy thing, because at that time Tupac was out. So I remember one year that she basically just said, I want you to play that Tupac song for me, that I Ain't Mad at You song for me. So I played it on the little Casio for her.
Nice.
Right? She's like, you're going to go somewhere, because I see in you. I see it in you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it when you play. I see it when you do it. So I attest my accomplishments to her, my mom, my significant other, my wife, my mother-in-law, some other outside factors from outside of the family, but they're like my brothers. They're like my key guys. And I know that I can't change the world. I just can't, but I can at least try to make them feel comfortable in it. So that's why when I try to do things, when I come back to home, I try to take them out to nice places. I try to give them experiences. Hey, let's go to the DR. Hey, let's go to this place. Hey,
who are you referring to?
So I'm referring to family in general.
Oh, okay.
So family in general, the core family pieces, I like to you know, when I said it on one of the freestyles that I said, I was like, you know, step inside a room and make it feel better.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I want to be. I want to be able to step inside a room and make it feel better. And you can attest to that. Whenever I come into a room with everybody as the family, I like to make sure we're laughing, we're giggling, we're enjoying each other's company. There's no issues.
Or even just like speaking to your presence in here right now. Like you're, Ray here has taken the trip from ATL all the way up to Connecticut to visit family that, is not so doing well health wise. And, really just has like a 2-day trip here to come and quickly go back. But in that time, finding the time to come here and meet with me for an hour in the studio.
No question.
That's, I don't take it lightly though. I know that. It's really, really, it speaks to the person that you are, what you're explaining.
Yeah. Right so that's, that's the thing that I like to do. I like to see my family winning. Like I like you doing this. I like you. And I try to tell people all the time. I'm like, yo, my cousin got me in his Grammy speech. I tell him that all the time.
I said, folded up paper, still in my safe.
They like, for real? I was like, yo, my cousin is going to win a Grammy. Yeah, if he doesn't win a Grammy, he's going to win an SP. He's going to win something.
Winning something.
He's going to win something.
Top of the something. And I got my speech.
The creativeness of this guy is bananas. Like, it's crazy. From being a painter, from being an artist, from being a spoken word artist, from being a podcast producer. The guy is like... He's like a machine, but he also understands that God is driving him to do these things. And that's the greatest thing of all, man. Making sure we recognize that without this, God basically put this in our hands. He put this in our life. And out of the 100 years of the vessel that we have, we need to capitalize on what he's actually blessed us with. And we need to appreciate it more.
That brings us to the last F, man, of faith. What is the thing that you're knowing all that? You already know those things.
Yeah.
What are you learning new this season in the area of faith?
I'm learning
anything.
I'm learning about my self-preservation. I'm really actually learning about my purpose.
Now, so tell me how that's connected to faith.
Okay, so I see I'm an observer. So I see things in life that I've went through and the things that I've contributed to, and I say, there was a reason why God put that in front of me. There was a reason why I reacted the way that I reacted, and then God still was able to either take it away from me or was either able to for me to see it for what it really is valued as. So when I say stuff like that, I say like my career. Like I could be, we all know, like I could be a 9-to-5er working wherever I am and not like my job. I love my job. I love the things that I do. I love the people that I meet. I love it. So to be in a place where God has put me in those areas where he's like, look, I understand that, but this is what you have to do. Like, this is where it is. You have to be here first. I can't put you in front of Drake and Beyonce and DJ Khaled yet, but I could put you in front of Mary this one, that one, that one.
Yeah.
And are you going to be gracious to them with the ones that have nothing, the have-nots, as you were with the haves? You feel me? Like, you can't forget where you come from just because you are where you're going.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of assess what really matters to me in life. You know, God has put a lot of tests in front of me, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm a human being. I'm a man. I've failed at some of those tests. But it wasn't a failure to where it wasn't something that I can come back from. I feel like when God doesn't kill you, anything that he puts in front of you, he's only going to make you stronger. So as long as I got breath in my lungs, as long as I got a heartbeat, I'm going to try to be the best person that I could be for him. So that if I could be the best person for him, then I could be the best person for whoever else. And that's pretty much where my faith is with that. You know, I can't attest my God-given talent saying that this is a Ray-given talent. It's not a Ray-given talent. This is not Grandma Ray-given talent. No, this is something that was molded into me because of somebody putting it into me, or of the faith of God putting it into me. Yeah. And then he's giving me the tools and the necessary people to feed that,
develop it
so that when I get to this point, which we get back to what I said, if I'm always ready, I don't ever have to get ready.
That's the greatest bar, man. I was gonna. My next segment was gonna be, now you got to leave the crowd, the audience with some food for the soul. That's the food for the soul, y'all. For this show, look, that's gonna look every time, almost every episode. I end up. It comes to me. What's gonna be the title of that episode? That's gonna be the title of this episode. If you're always ready. If you're always ready,
you'll never have to get ready.
You'll never have to get ready. I might have to shorten it, something like be ready and you won't have to get ready. Yeah, something like that.
Be ready instead of getting ready.
That's gonna be the title of this episode, man.
Yeah, be ready instead of getting ready.
Y'all chew on that, man. It's free food for your soul.
Yes, sir.
Free lunch. Yo, before we leave out, let them know everywhere that they can find you on social, maybe your website, any of that. RJB Multimedia.
Website is rjbmusicproduction.wixsite.com. You can get me on social media platforms, RJB Multimedia LLC. I'm dropping an album. I'm working now. I'm feeling like it's really good.
He needs to calm down is what he's doing, guys.
I've dropped a few freestyles.
He needs to relax.
I've dropped a few freestyles.
What's the YouTube channel?
RJB.
Is that under multimedia too?
Everything's under RJB Multimedia LLC. Everything is under the umbrella. So you'll see. When you go to the YouTube site, you might easily forget that he's not a bona fide rapper. He's the CEO behind a multimedia company that, but I love my artistry
that handles all these other crazy things behind the scene, and he just happens to be this animal rapper. He needs to get back in his cage.
Yeah. I'm just low. I mean, it's crazy because I really I did not want to do it, but my
so what led to somebody triple dog dared you again?
No, it was like
that's what it was.
Yo, it was like I woke up one day and I heard the Papoose remix.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I was like, yo, that's a crazy beat. And I went to sleep. I heard the beat. Now, mind you, I went to sleep listening to this beat.
Mm-hmm.
God woke me up at like 3:00 in the morning.
He said, God woke me up.
Said, you need to say something. I need for you to say something because there are a lot of people out here who think that you can't do what you do.
Wow.
I said, okay.
There's a lot of people out here secretly disrespecting you.
And that's when and then that's when, when you hear it, you'll understand it.
And that's when he came up and started a new Dropbox folder called 48 freestyles in 48 hours.
48 freestyles in 48 hours. Yes, I do have a folder like that. I have so many freestyles that I've done. That'll
be a crazy challenge. 48 freestyles in 48 hours.
I could do that. You challenging me? You triple dog dare me?
I don't think you could pull that one off, bro. That's a lot more involved than music, bro.
What?
I don't know, yo. 48 freestyles in 48 hours? Are you insane, bro?
Listen.
How many bars that is?
Listen. All right. The freestyles that I have on my channel are like a minute, 2 minutes. Literally. It's 16 bars.
Yeah.
Okay. 16 bars is like a minute to 2 minutes.
Still.
That means I could do 48 in 48 minutes.
No, that's what it would end up being 48 minutes in total. That don't mean you could come up with what you're going to say, write that and do that in 48 hours. No.
Challenge?
I quadruple dog dare.
Okay.
There's no way.
When I come back on this show, we're going to play every freestyle, 48 of them. For 48 minutes.
Somebody get this guy off my show. Cut his mic.
Listen, I've literally been doing this since a kid.
Yeah, nah. I know for sure.
I'm 37 years old, right? I have literally been writing, freestyling in this music industry since I was 5.
That seems so insane to me. That might actually be like a Guinness record.
Like I have so much like.
I have to look it up first.
Listen,
let me first look it up. See if it's a record that has a standard already established, and then see if I can come up with something for you to break.
Listen. Because
then now Big Cuz will have a way to get you into the record books instead of just us doing this out of sake of ego and being challenged.
Listen,
we got an actual document.
Listen, I have too many. First of all, I have too many written songs that I have. I have too many songs that I've actually have in the stash that I'm just like shopping around and placing, and then the music vaults, plural people, are just endless. So
that's crazy,
man. They keep growing. Yeah, they just keep growing.
Thank you again so much for coming through, bro.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you. Love you, man.
Love you too, man.
Yo, it's free lunch, free food for your soul, y'all. Peace.
Peace.